welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, did you ever
What's
think
up,
you'd
guys?
be back? Cheers.
Excited to be back.
Cheers.
Don't worry. I got this nice throwback Gatorade can.
Well played.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest name in basketball, a phenomenon shattering records and selling out arenas wherever she goes. But a recent, surprisingly candid interview with WNBA legends Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi has pulled back the curtain on the vicious storm raging behind her poised public image. While she smiled for the cameras, what was revealed was a story of intense pressure, vicious locker room whispers, and a league that seems determined to make her path to greatness as punishing as possible.
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
The interview was meant to be a friendly chat between icons, a passing of the torch, but Clark quickly, if subtly, signaled the immense weight on her shoulders. When the legends joked about her future and playing for decades, she didn't offer a confident boast. Instead, she spoke of just trying to make it to 10 years in the league, a shocking admission for a player expected to dominate for 2 decades. It was a subtle but telling glimpse into the immense burden she carries. Every single night, she's not just playing a game, she's expected to save an entire league, live up to impossible hype, and navigate the treacherous minefield of veteran expectation.
Congrats on your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats
Now,
on you.
Unfortunately,
This burden is unlike anything any rookie has ever faced. She is viewed not just as a player, but as a savior. The Caitlin Clark effect is a tangible force. Ticket prices skyrocket, viewership shatters records, and for the first time, teams are flying on charter planes. A direct result of the attention she has brought. But this status has also isolated her. While she elevates the league, some of her peers see her as the sole beneficiary of a system that has long ignored them. This savior complex creates an impossible tightrope for her to walk. She must be great enough to lift everyone up, but humble enough not to overshadow anyone. It's a thankless, isolating job that was thrust upon her before she ever played a professional minute.
to me now.
What's your big plans?
in early.
What are you going to do?
I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
It's 10 years.
That pressure doesn't just exist in boardrooms and on TV screens, it manifests physically on the court. From her very first game, Clark has been met with a level of aggression that has stunned viewers and analysts alike. This isn't just tough, gritty defense. It's a relentless barrage of shoves, illegal screens, and hard fouls, often happening far away from the ball where the cameras might not see. Players who were once tweeting their admiration for her in college now seem to treat her like a personal target, leading many to question if this is a standard welcome to the league moment, or something far more sinister. And what happened next would prove this was no ordinary rookie hazing.
What was it like for you two to play against each other?
It was amazing. I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe. And to be on the court and, the first game was in Phoenix and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot, Like, we've been doing this for a long time, and to see Caitlin do what she does is, I think someone said the other day, I'm like, I want the season to start so I can watch you again.
The moment that exposed the league's simmering tension for all to see came during a game against the Chicago Sky. In a now infamous play that was replayed endlessly, Chenny Carter, without any provocation, walked up to Clark during a dead ball and slammed her with a blindside hip check, sending the rookie sprawling to the floor. Carter's coach initially dismissed it as simple competitiveness, and Carter herself refused to even answer questions about it. But the footage told a different, undeniable story. It was a cheap shot, a blatant act of aggression, and the public outcry was deafening. It was the physical manifestation of the resentment that had been bubbling just beneath the surface of the league for months.
it was like to play against Dee.
Well, I was saying, like, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time, and it was before Olympic break. Obviously, we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down like 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won.
The fallout from that single incident was even more revealing than the act itself. After days of intense public pressure and media scrutiny, the WNBA reluctantly upgraded Carter's foul to a flagrant 1, but the reaction from many WNBA players and veterans was a deafening silence, or worse, a quiet defense of Carter's actions. It seemed to confirm what many already suspected, that a significant portion of the league was not happy with the unprecedented attention and praise Clark was receiving. Suddenly, the battle lines were drawn in the sand, and Caitlin Clark was standing on one side, largely alone. This division wasn't just between teams. Whispers soon began that the conflict was brewing inside her own locker room.
Our first win versus a team that was above 500, so thank you. I appreciate that.
While the league wages a physical war against her, opponents are also waging a mental one. In the interview, Clark spoke about the sophistication of the defensive schemes she faces, noting how some coaches prepare the best scouts against her. She described facing teams so disciplined that they make everything difficult, constantly throwing different looks and defenders at her. This isn't just about being tough. It's about being smart. Opponents are using complex strategies like drop coverage and intricate ball screen defenses designed specifically to exploit any weakness in her game. They are trying to get inside her head, to make her second guess her legendary instincts. It's a high-level chess match every night, and she's facing grandmasters determined to prove she's not ready.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who Sue knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, you know, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but like when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that make you feel like?
This external pressure is compounded by the immense internal challenge of building a winning team from scratch, all under a global microscope. Clark candidly mentioned the difficulty of integrating 7 new pieces into the Indiana Fever roster in an incredibly short amount of time. With more than half of the team being new, they had just days of training camp to build the chemistry that other teams have spent years developing. Every miscommunication, every bad pass, every loss is magnified and dissected by a world watching and waiting for the super team on paper to either dominate or implode. The pressure to win immediately, with a roster that barely knows each other, is a monumental task for any player, let alone a 22-year-old rookie.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but, you know, you only have, I mean, we start training camp, I think, on the 27th, and then, like, we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th, so it's like,
it was into this high-pressure environment that the most vicious rumors began to swirl. Damaging narratives began to circulate from anonymous sources, claiming the Indiana Fever locker room was fractured and that her own teammates were resentful of her and weren't getting along. It was a classic, insidious rumor designed to paint Clark as a difficult, unlikable star who couldn't unify her own team. In the cutthroat world of professional sports, the suggestion of a bad locker room can be a death sentence for a team's chemistry and morale, adding yet another layer of intense personal pressure on the young rookie who was already carrying the world on her shoulders.
very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, like more than half of our roster, like that's, you know, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good. And like, I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, you know, we added a lot more experience. Like in the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group. Even Kels, like obviously with being with the Fever during her entire career, she hasn't really had the opportunity to play in a ton of playoff games. So having that, whether it's Sydney Colson, whether it's DB, whether it's Natasha Howard, whoever it is, I think having that experience is going to be really good for us and that leadership in the locker room. So I'm excited.
But when directly confronted with these ugly rumors during the interview, Clark didn't flinch. She powerfully pushed back, shutting down the narrative with a calm but firm authority. She insisted her team was a tight-knit circle, and that, contrary to reports, they honestly had so much fun together, even when they were losing. She explained their early struggles weren't due to drama, but because they were a young team that needed some time to figure it out. It was a classic us against the world defense, a clear attempt to shield her teammates from the outside noise and prove that the real story was happening on the court, not in the venomous gossip columns. However, just as she was fighting off these rumors, the biggest storm was still yet to come.
There was the viral picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened there?
Like, how did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control. Come on.
Just as she was navigating the on-court attacks and the off-court rumors, a bombshell dropped that no one, not even her biggest critics, saw coming. Caitlin Clark was officially left off the U.S. Olympic basketball team. The decision was utterly shocking. She was not only the most popular player in the world, bringing unprecedented ratings and attention to the sport, but her unique skill set, especially her legendary three-point range, seemed tailor-made for the international stage. A firestorm of controversy erupted as fans, analysts, and even casual observers tried to make sense of the inexplicable and seemingly self-defeating snub.
What are you doing in the off-season working on your game?
You're trying to get stronger, like a lot of time in the weight room, and it's like something like I kind of enjoy, so it's been pretty easy for me to like spend time in there and really work on that part of my game. And you know, I think the biggest thing on the court is just like that mid-range area. Like I got pretty uncomfortable in there when I would get in there, whether that's like I didn't really have any floater. I didn't like taking a mid-range jump shot. So just getting more comfortable, like when I get my feet kind of into the paint, and honestly trying to just add a floater to my game, and, you know, finishing through contact and little things like that. But I think just going back to the weapons that we've added this year, like there's going to be so many different things that we're able to do that I think it'll be able to make my life a little bit easier, and it should make everybody's life a little bit easier on our team.
The official explanation from the selection committee was flimsy at best. They claimed they prioritized veterans with more experience and established chemistry, a defense that rang hollow given Clark's obvious talent, but few were buying it. The unofficial theories circulating were much darker and more believable, suggesting that powerful veteran players didn't want Clark's massive star power and media magnetism to overshadow them in Paris. Whispers of pure jealousy and fears that she would dominate media attention ran rampant, painting a disturbing picture of a league more concerned with protecting the egos of the old guard than embracing its undeniable future.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new
it's
shit's
a
going on.
This controversy fed directly into another disturbing trend, the media's dual role as both her biggest promoter and her biggest antagonist. The same networks that built her up into a global icon are now the ones replaying every hard foul in slow motion, endlessly debating her every move, and sensationalizing her rivalries for ratings. She is trapped in a 24/7 news cycle she can't escape, where every game is a referendum on her career, and every interaction is scrutinized for hidden meaning. The media's double-edged sword has made her famous, but it has also stripped away her privacy and made her the central figure in every basketball debate, whether she wants to be or not.
So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't.
This intense media focus has led to the weaponization of Caitlin Clark's name in arenas she never asked to enter. She found herself at the center of heated toxic culture wars about race, gender, and privilege, with commentators from all sides using her as a symbol for their own political agendas. It became so overwhelming that Clark eventually had to publicly address the issue, stating her frustration and making it clear she didn't want to be used as a pawn in these debates. All she ever wanted was to play basketball, but her unprecedented fame had made that simple desire a near impossibility.
The whole week was like, Indiana, they don't get along, you know, all this. And I'm like, great. And then I'm like, this is the most together team I've ever seen.
Is that one of the hardest things for you as a pro now? Just seeing all the narratives like that one, that your team didn't get along, and just having to literally ignore it, deal with it, even though you know it's not true?
This entire saga brings Diana Taurasi's chilling preseason comments into terrifyingly sharp focus. The WNBA legend had famously warned that for college superstars, reality is coming when they enter the pros. At the time, it sounded like a simple veteran prediction of a tough adjustment period. Looking back now, it sounds less like a prediction and more like a prophecy, a declaration of the brutal resistance Clark would face from the very players she grew up idolizing. It was the old guard sending a clear and unmistakable message to the new phenom. Respect in this league is not given. It is earned through fire, pain, and humiliation.
it's something you kind of just become used to. Is like people think they know what's going on inside of your locker room, and they just don't. At the end of the day, it's just, you know, the girls that you have in there, and then obviously your coaching staff, and that's all that matters. And honestly, like, the best thing about last year is, like, we honestly had so much fun together. Yeah, we lost our first 8 games or whatever, but like, we wouldn't have won if we didn't have a tight-knit circle or a good locker room. And that's the reason we kind of turned everything around, is just we like needed some time. We were a young group, and, you know, we figured it out. But yeah, it was really fun, honestly.
The drama is consistently amplified by her on-court rivalries, most notably the ongoing saga with Angel Reese. Their contentious, highly publicized battles in college have carried over to the WNBA, with every matchup treated like a do-or-die championship game by the media and fans. While the rivalry is undeniably good for the league's ratings, it adds yet another layer of personal animosity and mental exhaustion to the challenges Clark faces every time she steps on the court. Each game against a rival becomes a test not just of her considerable skill, but of her mental fortitude and composure under the most intense pressure imaginable.
So when you play against a Coach Auriemma coached team, what kind of beast is that?
Well, I think they just are so disciplined. Like, that's just, they're going to do what they do. They're going to do it really well. And also, I think, like, for myself, facing his teams, like, they always had some of the best scouts against me. Like, you can tell how smart he is the game. He's coached against so many really good players, and, you know, there were games I would go into, and like, the scouts were just like, it was just like, come on, like, why are you going under ball screens? Why are you in drop coverage? But like, he just made it difficult.
Amidst all of this chaos, the interview revealed where Caitlin Clark's true focus lies, and it's the one place she still has control: the gym. When asked what she was working on to improve, she didn't complain about the biased officiating or the vicious hard fouls. Instead, she spoke with the precision of a surgeon about developing a floater, getting more comfortable in the mid-range area, and getting stronger in the weight room. While the rest of the world was debating her celebrity, she was quietly sharpening her tools and building her armor. Her response to the noise has been to put her head down and work, determined to become so good, so undeniable, that no one can stop her.
She would throw different defenders at me, and obviously having Nika Mule last year, like, she's probably one of the better defenders that I've faced. Like, she's just up in your grill. She'll pick you up 94 feet, like, but then he just always has an answer, has different people, and I think that's one of the best things about him. Like, he has one game plan, but then he has something in his back pocket that he can go to, and that's going to bother you again.
When you watch Paige play, and you see her in the next level, what are the things that obviously she's going to take to the WNBA and it's going to translate instantly? And what are the things that, you know, it takes you a couple games to get used to?
I think her poise, like, that's something you need coming into the W. It like all hits you so fast. Is like, you're moving to a new city, you're trying to understand new teammates, you have a new coach, while you're trying to live up to all these expectations. And I think that's like one of the greatest things about her game, is just her poise and her maturity, and nothing ever seems to faze her.
Caitlin Clark is weathering a perfect storm of physical targeting, vicious off-court drama, and a league grappling with her unprecedented, world-altering fame. The forces aligned against her are immense, and the pressure is unlike anything a rookie or perhaps any athlete has ever faced. The question that remains is not whether she is talented enough to succeed, but whether she can mentally and physically endure this relentless assault from all fronts. Will this trial by fire ultimately break her spirit, or will it be the very thing that forges her into the undisputed, untouchable legend she was always destined to become?